What is up, everybody? Welcome to the first edition of Burner Live. I am your host, Chris Deibler. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. Crockpot. I know it's a ridiculous name. It is what it is. Make sure you're following all of our channels, Philly Front Office on Twitter. Tonight, we are mere hours away from Game 5, Sixers versus Raptors. I am joined by a few friends, and we're going to talk our expectations, our gut feelings, and some bold predictions for Game 5. If you guys like what you see, make sure to hit like and subscribe to our page. Thanks, guys, and go Sixers. We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Burner Live. We're going to start with some quick introductions. Our first guest is one of my longest friends. His name is Coyle. You can find him on Twitter at Russer24 on the Twitter thing. What is going on, Coyle? Tell us a little about yourself.
Not a whole lot. Just excited for tonight's game. I live in South Philadelphia, 444 guy. Huge Sixers fan, huge Eagles fan, huge Phillies fan, huge Flyers fans. I mean, that's my life. Pretty much sports. Sports is my life. So.
Groovy, dude. All right. So just long story short, Coyle was my best man at my wedding. I've known him since the elementary school bus. He's kind of moved away from me and kind of moved back to me. It's been a long time, but he's one of my longest friends. All right, so our next guest is Steven Conrad Jr. Make sure you are giving Steven a follow. He can be found on Twitter at Philly Fanatic YT. Steven actually has his own YouTube channel, which is fantastic. Awesome. Absolutely make sure you subscribe and follow his YouTube channel. I'll share the link on this video. Remind me, Coyle. All right, so what's up, Steven? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's up, guys? So, I'm new to PFO here, and this is actually like my first ever, I guess you could say, podcast here. I'm just super excited. I would say I am 3 out of 4 in Philly sports. I'm sorry, guys. I do not know much about the Flyers. Don't follow hockey. We have experts here for that, but I eat, sleep, breathe Philly sports. Besides that, 3 out of 4.
I think I see a Michael Jordan poster in your room. Is that a Michael Jordan poster?
Okay, so there's 3 players there. There is Kobe, MJ, and LeBron James. I just thought it was cool. I saw it on a Jersey boardwalk. I had to pick it up. It's a cool poster.
It's awesome. Three of the greatest.
This one time I was at a carnival, Knoebels. I don't know if you guys know where that is. And I found one game. I think it was like a skee ball game or some shit. And one of the posters to win as a reward was a Tyrone Hill in a Sixers poster wearing the black Sixers jersey. And I swear to God, I think I spent like $15 until I actually won the poster. I could have bought it on Amazon probably for like 2 cents, but whatever. All right.
Great.
It's now sitting in your parents' basement with all your other junk.
Oh my God, all the shit. Yep. All right, so let's get a little bit into our confidence levels going into Game 5, Sixers versus Raptors. All right, so on a scale of like 0 to 10, 0 being scared shitless, 10 being uber confident, where are you guys right now? Why don't you start us off, Coyle?
I'm right down the middle. I don't know how this game is going to turn out at all. I'm a little concerned about JoJo and his offensive presence with him being sick again. I really don't know how I really feel about him. We need Ben to kind of step up, attack, and then attack some more, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But and then we just need the bench to continue to do what it's doing. I'm absolutely loving our bench and what exactly they're doing. I don't know. I'm right down the middle. I'm not leaning either way. Yeah,
like a 5. All right, man. How about you, Steven?
Slightly more confident than Coyle. I would say a 6 out of 10. I'm definitely still a little unsure. You never know what you're going to get out of Joel Embiid in the playoffs, for that matter. I expect a much better game than the last one. I think he's going to be aggressive, and whenever he's aggressive, good things tend to happen, at least when he's under control when he's aggressive. I expect him to get to the free throw line, and I think that should just open everything else up. I expect everybody else to kind of feed off of that, honestly. So
all right. So if I had to put a number on it, I'm probably a little bit higher. I'm pretty confident, even though we shat the bed in game 4. That was a winnable game. I am about a 7. I'm fairly confident we're going to get Joel Embiid back, which is everything. I'm hoping Jimmy Butler's, words of wisdom get through the ears of Ben Simmons. He starts attacking more. I like what Brett Brown has done. I don't see the Raptors being able to match up with the Sixers as long as we execute, especially offensively. I think I'm feeling still pretty confident. So what are your expectations for the bench? We have James Ennis is kind of balling out of his mind right now. I thought he was excellent in game 4. Right now he's averaging in the series through 4 games, 11 points. He's 6 for 17 from 3. That's 35%. Greg Monroe has given them really good minutes off the bench. What are your expectations for the bench in game 5?
Steve, go ahead.
Go ahead.
you want me to start us off?
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
So yeah, like you said, I'm really impressed with James Ennis. I expect him to continue to play well, at least defensively and effort-wise. He's a really underrated rebounder. He always comes up with a big putback every now and then. I think we're due for a Mike Scott game. I really think he's going to hit a couple threes tonight. At least I hope he does. We need him to do that. Yeah, hopefully.
What about you, Coyle?
I'm on the board with Mike Scott. I think he's going to have a huge game. He kind of struggled a little bit. You can tell that some of his shots were a little bit short, meaning I don't think he had his heel back. I suffered the same injury over the weekend last weekend. That wasn't I hurt myself at a wedding, so
he did a worm. He did the worm at the wedding. It was one of the best worms he's ever done at a wedding. Bravo, Coyle.
But yeah, I couldn't walk all week, so I can understand what he was kind of going through, life experiences, and honestly, my heel's back, and I feel like he's back. So it's one of those things. I'm feeling good. He's going to be feeling good. I think he's going to be a huge game. But the bench has been incredible. It's been absolutely incredible. Well done. Management and picking up some of these players and compared to last year in the playoffs, it's like night and day.
It's unbelievable the fact that if you were to tell me that the Sixers bench would be outplaying the Raptors bench, I would have said you're straight up lying. It's unbelievable. The last question I have about Mike Scott is, what drink is he stealing from the Raptors fans? Is it going to be Guinness? Is it going to be the Henny? Is it going to be whiskey? Like, what are your predictions on the drink?
I'm going dark liquor. It's going to be some whiskey again.
Okay.
I feel like he just likes the whiskeys.
All right. Steven, you probably shouldn't comment on this since you're underage.
Yeah. You're right.
All right. Let's go on to Tobias Harris. Tobias, he really struggled in game 4. Throughout the series, he's put up 13 and 10, nearly 5 assists a game. But even worse, he's shooting 7 of 27 from 3, 25%. Ain't going to cut it. He needs to be better. Everyone knows he needs to be better. The entire point of trading for Tobias were for games exactly like game 4 when, Ben doesn't have it or Joel is on the mend and maybe Jimmy's off. Those were the games that Tobias had to step up. He has to step up. If the Sixers want to win game 5, Tobias has to step up. All right. What are your guys' expectations for Tobias? Why don't you go, Steven?
So when you look at that 7 for 23, that's really bad shooting, obviously. If you really sat down and watched the game, the most frustrating part about that was I can't tell you how many wide open looks there were. And I don't know what his career average from three is, but I do know on this season he's shooting around 40% from three on a decent amount per game. He's gotta knock those down. What was he, 3 of 13 from three, 2 of 13?
Yeah, like you said, they were wide open. They were probably
Wide
at
open.
least like he was 0 for 5 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And like 2 or 3 of those were just wide open shots that really would have swung the momentum. I think it was like less than 5 minutes. And they were just backbreakers to miss those. It killed us. He has to step it up.
For sure.
I mean, my concern with him is that he's not even taking those short jumpers that he used to take. I mean, you're going to have off nights where you're not just going to hit threes. It happens. I mean, you can look at Steph Curry last night. He wasn't really shooting very well. But he has mismatches where he's like, he can back down Lowry and he's not taking advantage of that. And that's what I start get really concerned about him and about the way that he's played. When he first started playing with us, you saw him driving, taking it to the hoop, just controlling the game. And you're not seeing that. You're seeing him kind of take a step back, kind of what Ben did too. Ben took a step back last game, and we need him to start driving the ball, start taking care of those mismatches when something comes up. I mean, that's really my big concern with him, and we got to get him going early. I feel like when we don't have him going early, he just kind of fades off into the background.
Absolutely. Getting Tobias Harris the ball, getting him some shots in the first quarter is huge. Obviously, getting off on a fast start in Toronto in the first quarter is everything for this game. So, yeah, if Tobias wants that money, go get it, Tobias.
Got to show up.
You got it. Go get it.
Got to show up.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, he's had a really kind of down series so far. 10 points, 7 boards, 5 assists a game. 2 out of 4 games, he's had 0 free throw attempts. Jimmy Butler had this to say about Ben Simmons after Game 4.
Yeah, Ben's had a couple of quiet games in a row now. Is there anything that you say to him just ahead of Game 5 to sort of help get him going, or is he more of he doesn't need that kind of thing?
If you ask Ben, I told Ben every time down the floor to attack, every single time. I'm cool with if coach calls a play and you feel like you got the mismatch, by all means, attack. And then coach will be like, why'd you do it? And I promise you, I will say, I told him to do it. I want Ben to be as aggressive, just like I tell Joe to be aggressive. Attack. We're not going to win without you guys.
All right, so Coyle, you go first. What are your expectations for Ben Simmons?
I feel like he's going to be on attack mode. Last game, I feel like was just a down game. I feel like his legs were dead. With him covering Kawhi, I feel like he's not focusing on offense as much. And I feel like that really had something to do with it. And I feel like this game, you're going to see him just go all out. And it's going to be a huge, huge game for him tonight. Now the problem on the backside is we may get another down game on Thursday. It's Thursday, correct? Is the game 6?
I think so.
Yeah. So we may see the same thing kind of happen where he may use all of his legs today and then have a little drop off when it comes game time Thursday. That's my concern for the Thursday game, but I think you're going to see the Ben Simmons that you want to see.
Yeah, go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely expect to see him be a lot more aggressive. I don't think this isn't a bad thing. I don't think we're going to see like a Game 2 of the Brooklyn Nets series Ben Simmons aggressiveness, because I was actually at that game live. That was the most aggressive I've ever seen that guy play in my life. But I definitely expect him to play a lot more aggressive, especially on the offensive end, attacking the basket. And don't be scared to get fouled. I mean, even if you are a bad free throw shooter, he's gotten better. You're still drawing fouls, and especially when he's being guarded by a guy like Kawhi Leonard and a bunch of other important players on that Raptors team if you can get them in foul trouble.
Yeah, no doubt. Is there any – let's be honest. All right, let's get this out of the way. Ben Simmons has been fantastic defensively. He has given Kawhi everything he has. He's bodied him. He's stayed in front of him. He's contested every shot that Kawhi has given him, and Ben has been right there. He wasn't the best in Game 4. He got kind of owned a little bit on some plays, but you can't really complain. Kawhi is just playing on a completely different level. And let's go offensively. There were some really terrible plays by Ben Simmons, especially offensively, especially in transition. There was one play where they had a fast break. It was like a 4-on-1 fast break. And instead, Ben has a wide open lane to take it strong. And he passed it to Tobias Harris, who just had a guy draped all over him. That can't happen. And there was another play where the ball was swinging. I'm not sure who, but they found Ben Simmons underneath the rim. Like, he needs to finish that strong. And he dished it. He made the extra pass to JJ Redick. That can't happen. You know, Ben Simmons clearly was afraid to get fouled. Clearly was, playing way too passive. We have Joel Embiid, we have Tobias Harris, we have Jimmy Butler. The Sixers, to get to that next level, has to be from Ben Simmons being aggressive, attacking, penetrating. I'm not talking about like shooting 5 mid-range shots a game. I'm talking just getting to the free throw line. And there's not a single player in the NBA, a great player in the NBA, that's more frustrating than Ben Simmons. So we really need you, Ben. We need you, dude, for Game 5. Let's move on to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has been absolutely incredible. 23 points, 8 boards, 6 assists. Most importantly for me, he isn't afraid to shoot from 3. He's really kind of letting it fly. 6.3 attempts per game in this series from 3, 32%. He's earning everything and then some in terms of max contract. Steven, do you want to give your expectations for Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, I expect him to play a strong game, and even if he is off, the thing that I really like about Jimmy Butler is he attacks the basket at will. I mean, he can score from all 3 levels, and like you said about the 3-point shot thing, it's really weird to me. There was a month or 2 stretch where he wouldn't shoot a 3 in a game. I don't know if you guys remember that. Now he's just pulling it whenever possible, and it's just like you need to be able to shoot on a team with 2 stars like Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons who are absolutely dominant under the basket. You need floor spacers.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, what I've been really impressed about has been his off court. I mean, I feel like this team has grown up so much this postseason. As much as people are like, "Oh, he's a locker room cancer, he's locker room cancer," I really feel like he has taken this team to a next level when it comes to showing up, taking responsibility for what needs to be done. That really is what I've been super, super impressed with. It's that Philadelphia attitude that everyone knows about or everyone talks about. That's it. That's exactly what everything he's been saying, that interview that he had when he talked about Ben, that is Philadelphia. That is what people are talking about when you talk about that attitude that we need, the attitude that this team needs. And I feel like it's last year it was not there. You're starting to see it this year. You're starting to see the other players kind of jump on board with that. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
Did you guys see his interview today when he was asked about Joel Embiid's health and being sick? And he was like, it was a simple question like, what do you think of Joel being sick? And Jimmy's response was, I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. I mean, he is, what has Brett called him? The adult in the room.
James Butler.
James Butler. He's earned everything and then some from Philadelphia fans in this series. He has literally put the team on his back in many plays so far this series. He is the main ball handler. And it's crazy to say that, the more confident he gets, the more time he gets with the ball in his hands, facilitating the offense. Sorry, Ben, you're not there yet, brother. But I feel better. And like you said, Coyle, I really have not. You have seen Embiid and Butler truly bond over the last several weeks.
Yep.
And that's got to make you feel good about even win or lose this series, that moving forward, that could be really something special going on to next season.
100%.
Let's go into Joel. Embiid. It's kind of been hit or miss offensively, not defensively. He's averaged 18 points, 8.5 boards, He shot 4-11 from 3, so that's he's got that going for himself. Whether it's he's probable for tonight. He's got an upper respiratory infection. He as terrible offensively as he was in Game 4, he was still a plus 17 in that game. He entered the game in Game 4. He entered it with like 5 minutes or so remaining, and it was just a horrendous stretch of Joel Embiid. It was like it was 2 missed free throws, turnover on the other end, gets fouled again, misses another free throw, turnover again, and then he had a drive to the rim, which he makes 9.9 times out of 10. It was like a 4-foot shot, and he missed it. Yeah. You could see his face. Like you saw Joel Embiid's face. Like he was just exhausted. I think it was later learned that he was on IVs before the game started. And I think today it was revealed that Joel Embiid was up all night prior to Game 4, puking his brains out. So, I mean, you could really tell. You haven't seen that kind of face since Kawhi Leonard left the game in Game 3. I mean, he just was completely flat out exhausted. Let's talk about some expectations for Joel Embiid in Game 5. Coyle, you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need him. If we have some of these other guys stepping up and putting in points and scoring, if we have Tobias stepping up and we have Jimmy and we have Ben stepping up, we don't need him to be an offensive monster this game. I would love to see the defensive output that he put on last game. He was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And if these other guys step up and start making shots, that's all I need from Joel. I don't need him to go out and score a million points, especially with him being sick. I don't need him to go out and score a million points. I need him to be the defensive player that we need him to be, guarding the rim, protecting the rim, and let the other guys score some points. They just need to step up and score.
I agree. Right on. You, Steven?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with him. The whole point of bringing in Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris were to take the offensive load off of Joel Embiid. So I don't see why you don't run the offense more through Tobias tonight to get his confidence back up. And Jimmy Butler has proven to be consistent. And if we're all expecting a more aggressive game out of Ben Simmons, why do we need Joel Embiid to go out here and take 20-plus shots, and especially due to the sickness, slowing him down and stuff like that. Defensively, like he said, I hope he keeps up the effort. I thought he played great defense even due to that sickness and everything. And offensively, just stay under control, pick your spots, be aggressive when we need you to be aggressive. And, yeah, there you have it.
Right on, dude. All right, so let's get into who are your standout stars for tonight. I'm going to wait. Let's see. Let's go. Steven, who's your standout star?
Standout star. You know what? From my memory of this series, I think we're due to have a really big Tobias game. It's weird because in the regular season, in some of our wins, you would look and he would be like our second leading scorer, and somehow he'd be either the leader in rebounds or second highest guy in rebounds, and you wouldn't even know it. So even if he were to have one of those outputs tonight, how do you some people may not even consider him a standout star. If you guys know what I mean, there were games where he'd have 24 points and 13 rebounds and you wouldn't even know it. So
that was my pick as well. So I'm going to pick someone else. I'm going to go with Jimmy Butler. I feel it's all right.
Sir James.
No, I know exactly. I know exactly what you're saying about that. Of just having that game where you don't realize he's putting up those numbers. But I think you're going to see numbers out of some Jimmy Butler tonight, and you're going to know about these numbers. He's going to be all over the place. Whether it's defense, whether it's offense, you're going to see Jimmy Butler all night. Jimmy Butler does this. Jimmy Butler gets another rebound. Jimmy Butler with a 3-point. Big shot, Jimmy Butler. You're just going to see Jimmy Butler all night tonight.
I also was going to go with Tobias Harris. So give me Mike Scott. Give me Mike Scott. I think that he's had a couple games. He's coming back from injury. He's had a couple games to kind of get his legs back. I think every single Raptors fan on that court should be holding their drinks like this when he's on the court, because he's coming for your drink, baby. Mike Scott, I think you're going to get a good 20 points out of Mike Scott tonight. I think you'll get at least 3 threes. This is a huge night for Mike Scott. The Mike Scott Hive is represented tonight.
In Toronto.
In Toronto, baby. All right, let's bold predictions. Bold predictions. Like who's gonna win?
You're Mike Scott.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah, there you
You're
go.
Mike Scott. You're Mike Scott's my bold prediction.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think the Sixers are going to win tonight. I think it's going to be a very close game, back and forth kind of game. I think Joel Embiid is going to really pull us out with the victory. Something along the lines of like 120 to 116. What do you guys think?
I'll go ahead.
I think we keep him.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I see it being a close game in the beginning. I think it's going to start off really slow. I think both teams, both coaches are going to have a lot of adjustments you're going to see tonight, and I think it's going to make the game start off slow, and I think it'll be close, and I think the Sixers will pull this one out. I could see anywhere between 8 to 12 point victory on the Sixers end.
Yeah, I think we keep them under 100. I think we're looking at like a 92-108, something right around in there, 92-105. But they're going to stay under 100. That's really been the key. Kawhi is going to get his 30 points. We keep him under right around 30 points. We win this game, and that's really what's going to happen, or what needs to happen. Test.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I can hear you.
All right.
And he's back.
All right,
he's back.
All right. So,
I'll do some editing.
I'm just gonna wrap it up. Yeah, I'll do some editing. It's fine. All right. So, thank you all for listening to the first Burner Live podcast. We are so psyched for Game 5 tonight. Make sure you give Coyle a follow on Twitter. You can find him at Ruzzer24, and make sure to give Steven Conrad Jr. a follow. And he can be found on Twitter at Philly Fanatic YT on Twitter, and make sure to subscribe to his YouTube page. What's up, guys? Let's go Sixers. Clap your hands, everybody.